Hi Flosstube, I'm Lori and welcome to Once Upon a Stitch. Today is Friday, July 31st, 2020. I made my last video the end of June, somewhere in the 20s. I can't remember, I thought I wrote it down, but I didn't, and I didn't go back to my video to check what the date was. But I said I was going to take the month of July off and come back the beginning of August. I couldn't stay away. I have tons to share with you and show you that what I've been up to, and as I've been collecting all this, my craft room has been getting crazy. I tried reorganizing stuff along the way, and so July 31st, a day early. But it's also what would have been our, let's see, I'm turning them wrong, our New Jersey Flosstube retreat. This weekend would have been the New Jersey Flosstube retreat, and this was 2018, and this was the 2019 part of our giveaways in our bag of goodies that we got the last couple of years. And this weekend would have been our third retreat, and a little sad that we're not all together in the same room with other, and they weren't all Flosstubers. It was called that, but it was open to everybody. Once the quota was met of how many could be in that room, Arlene Cohen from Works by ABC ran the last Flosstube and was running this one coming up, and she would then get a waiting list. So we had people from all over the United States attending, and in the past overseas. So it's been fun. So I missed you guys, and I thought I'd just come back earlier. And I hope you enjoy what I have to share with you today. Today is a rainy day in New Jersey. Well, it started off as a rainy day. The sun is supposed to come out in the afternoon. We'll see. We were going to have a pool day. Michael and Rebecca and Caleb were going to be over today, but because of what the weather was going to be like, the best day of the weekend is going to be tomorrow. So they're coming, and possibly James and Amy. So fingers crossed the weather will cooperate. So since my last video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do my updates, my finishes, then my WIPS, and plans, short-term and long-term, to the end of this, I was going to say the school year. I still have my school brain in my head. End of these regular year, like December 31st. Okay, so the first thing I want, excuse me, the first thing I wanted to say was that a viewer came up with a fabulous idea. I was working on The Long and Winding Road by Blackbird, and it's to be finished in a circular, whether it be a frame, a hoop, and I said I was going to cut the mat board as close to a circle as I can get it, and I showed a piece of wood that I was going to mount it on that is also in a circle. So a viewer, Sue Smallwood, said that she uses cake rounds, and my husband loves to bake cheesecakes, so we have cake rounds in our supplies. So this is the cake round. He usually slides the cheesecake onto here, and then when we have to bring it somewhere so that we have our own spring form pan back, we try to put it on this. So anyway, I took one of these. I think this, I have it's a 10-inch circle. And I think that the Long and Winding Road would fit perfectly on this, and then I would mount it on the wood one. So thank you so much, Sue, for the perfect circle. Yes. Then I received some kindness in the mail. Kim, who is Barbara's daughter, and that's her Flosstube name, Barbara's daughter, has shown in her videos what she has been up to. And she's been making some pillows. And she said that she was making them for her friends. And look, I was lucky enough to be one of her friends. We're in a group from the Flosstube retreat. That's where we originally met. Well, actually, Kim couldn't attend because she's always on vacation with her family the weeks that we went. But her mom, Barbara, attended, and then when we get together at our local Needleworks store, Needleworkers Delight, Kim came, and that's how we met. And it was great. Every month we'd get together, and the whole group of us would meet, and we'd be stitching at the store together at a table. So this is Kim's finish. It's gorgeous as always. I mean, if you've seen her floss tube, you know her stitching is amazing. And if you haven't, you have to go check her out. And this is the back. She put a little charm on it that says 2020, and I love it. And this is going to be with me all the time. And then she included this little library pocket, and she made a library card. Let's see if I can, if it'll focus. Basically, it's designer fabric, there you go, to fill in and put it on the back of your frame piece. So I'm going to save this for one of my special pieces that I'm working on. And then she included some thread drops. I'm not taking them out of the package, and I didn't use them yet because I wanted to share it with you. Then, also, who I met at the retreat is Regina, and she shared some kindness. She put some pictures up in our group and said, would anybody like these things? And I said that I would, and it's one of these bowls. I believe I'm going to stain this a wood. I don't know if it's going to be oak or darker, but I'm going to throw a stain on that, and then a box. I have never done a box with a cross-stitch piece, so when I have the opportunity, I'll have the box ready. And a wooden heart. They always come in handy. And then she sent me a special heart. And then to top it off, she sent me some fabrics. Aren't they beautiful? We've been also, we are a cross-stitch group, but a lot of, well, some of us quilt. So it's nice to be able to share our quilting with some of the people that haven't been quilting. And we're trying to put together a jelly roll quilt all together. Different, but like doing the same thing, but in different colorways, I guess, of what we selected. So since I do quilt, I had some quilt tops that I haven't finished. And I just put them in a drawer, make the top, put them in the drawer. That was my favorite part of quilting in the past, was piecing the tops. So I finally said, well, if I'm going to make another quilt and buy fabric, I have to finish something that's in my drawer. So I don't have it finished. I barely have it stacked together to be quilted. So I'll share that in another video. But I am starting to go back into quilting. And one other thing, that I received a thank you card from Phyllis, and she was in Canada, and she won one of my giveaways. But look at this card. Isn't that beautiful? Let's see if I can get it closer, or the right lighting. There you go. She made the card. Just beautiful. And she wrote a lovely saying, and then she stamped it in the back. Handmade by. So thank you so much, Phyllis. I will save this. Okay, on to finishes. Okay, I'm going to start with the largest finish so that because then I can pile everything on top of it and tell you about it. Now they're fully finished pieces, and the first one is Prairie Schooler Village Sampler. And I bought this frame at Hobby Lobby. It was on clearance, I want to say $3 and change. I bought two. I bought this darker wood and a lighter wood. Now, I laced my pieces, and I laced this piece, and I went downstairs, popped it in the frame, and held it up and said to my husband, "What do you think?" And he says, "It's crooked." I says, "What?" He goes, so I got mad. He goes, "Didn't you want me to tell you that it was crooked?" I said, "No, just say it looked good." So I came up here, tore it all out, and did it again. And I am happier with it now. let's see, if I hold it straight, it'll look straight. So that's Prairie Schooler Village Sampler. That was my first finish. Then I went to Hobby Lobby, and I bring my cross stitch pieces with me to put a frame on it to see if it would work, and this and that. So, and I bring the measuring tape with me. So I found this frame, and anyway, I can't think of the name that I wanted to say, so I'll just keep going. It was a frame that I guess you put in a CD player, CD, and maybe a picture of the group, and it's considered a album frame. And it was the perfect size. It was a black frame that I bought, and I wasn't really happy with the black frame, but I thought brown would be nicer, or a blue. But for now, I put Indigo Lane by With Thy Needle and Thread, Brenda Gervais, and I don't know. Tell me what you think. Do you think the black is too harsh? Somebody sprayed theirs red, and I can't think of her name. Her name is Amy, but I don't know her Flosstube channel. So I'll look it up and I'll put it in the show notes. And the last video that I saw, she mentioned she went to Hobby Lobby, and it was a record frame, and she sprayed hers red, and it looked really good. So I said, well, I could always spray this a blue, or would that be too much blue? Or a gray. And then I thought, I didn't know if they came in other colors. I mean, it was slim pickings at my Hobby Lobby when I went. But, so do you think the black is okay, or do you think it's too harsh and I should spray the frame? Because my husband we took out whatever they had, and we put on these little fasteners that just slide back and forth, so that I can remove it and redo it if I choose to. Okay, so what else have I finished? I finished a lot, and I'm surprised because I think that was one of the reasons I took a break from Flosstube. I said, I don't have enough to show people, and it was starting to get me anxious about having finishes, and I said, well, if I finish, then it takes time for my stitching. So I was like getting myself crazy, like I was getting paid for this. So I said, I'll take the month off, I'll reboot myself and start again. And for some reason, I just started finishing, and I was fine with it. So an oldie that I had stitched, oh gosh, when I started going back to cross stitch was April 2017, and it was called Flip Flops, and it was by Heinzit, and this is let's see, the P is in yellow, so it's really hard to catch the light of the P, but in person it shows up, and the L at the top. I have my shade up so that the light would come forward. There you go. And then I had some daisy buttons that I put there. What happened was it came with heart charms, and I couldn't find the charms. I know I had them because I was holding them until I found something that I wanted to finish this with. And when I couldn't find them and I was getting frustrated, I just put this aside. So that's why I waited so long to get finally fully finished. And this is the fabric that I use. I think it's adorable. I got this at Hobby Lobby. And I passed on the pattern to Steph from Pam and Steph Just Keep Stitching. The next finish that I had was the Tralala on the Beach, which I gave the pattern away in my last video. And I used the same fabric in the back. And then I finished, this one I was holding for a long time because I thought it was going to be a lot smaller from the picture that I had of the pattern. And so finally I found this fabric that I really liked. And I said, oh, that'll be perfect as far as color wise. And then I put rickrack, which, let's see if I get real close. You can see the rickrack. But it was too close to the color of the fabric. I know I see my camera's going dark and light, and I apologize. I'm going to try and bring that down and hope the lighting is better for you. And like again, I apologize, I can't do anything about it because I don't know how. So the rickrack doesn't show very well. So what I did was I just put pom-poms around the outside so that it was more visible. And that's a heart and hand design. Something Flamingo. Welcome, Flamingo. Heart and hand. Kathy Haberman. Okay. Then I pulled out a pattern that I have of Lizzie Kate. So far, all I've done is the summer pillow. I haven't done the other three. So I decided, okay, so I don't want to do everything all at once. Don't ask me why, but I just don't. So I decided to do the berries pillow. And this is how I decided to finish it. This one, and then I did it again. So this was something I picked up and just stitched since the last time we were together, and those are the two backs. Hobby Lobby fabric. Kim, we think the same. Thank you. So those are my little pillows. Then, I don't know if you remember, but Joe Dene sent me this as a thank you, the Prairie Schooler, and I showed it that I finished it. And I did it on an 18 count Aida. And if you can tell, it's one line of black cross stitches around the outside of the pattern. Let's see, this side clearer. And I thought it would be too difficult to actually fold it right at that black stitching. So I did two rows of black stitching. I went around again. And this is the little finish that I had for that. Seems like a lot for just a little piece. I put it on mat board. I put it on mat board, then I put a red chenille on it, then I backed another piece with this holly fabric, and then I put another 2 pieces of that, and I put pom-poms between them. And then I put a bow with a little bell, and that's how I finished this one. I think it's so cute. So, thank you, Joe Dene. There's more. I finished the, let's see, was this hands-on design? No. I write everything down, so I might as well use my notes. Heart and hand, bluebird. And I finished the pillow. And this is the back. Fabric from Hobby Lobby. And I got a piece of wool felt that I had from my stash. I just drew an outline on graph paper to keep it sort of symmetrical, and then I cut a heart out and I glued that on the stitching, because this time I cut it in the middle here and I stuffed the pillow. And usually I leave a bottom or a side open and stuff and then whip stitch it closed, but I decided to do that finish this time. This is Halloween Bird. I think it's a heart and hand. Oh, the hands-on design was You Had Me at Flamingo. I don't see where I wrote this, but I think it's heart and hand. They had the bird, so I finished the Halloween one in a pillow. I couldn't find a nice charm that I was really looking for, so I found this little charm that has a bird cut out in it and some batik fabric. And then when I went to Needleworkers, I bought this new pattern. It's From the Heart, Needle Art by Wendy, and it's called July Mini Sampler, because I had said in the past that I didn't have too much 4th of July. So this is the pattern, and I started it and finished it as like this. I still need work on my bows. I rewatch Java Girl's bow tutorial, but I'm happy with it, and I covered a button for that. Okay, that's it for cross stitching. The last time I showed you this quilt that I made, it was a little quilt that I had seen Carol Saltbach Stitcher say she was making some smalls, and Kim, Barbara's daughter, she got some small quilts from her mom. So after I did that one, and I decided to do another one, and this is the one that I did, and I'm enjoying them. Carol says she wraps them, rolls them, and wraps them with ribbon, and then displays them in a bowl. And I have some previous smalls that I have that I just found recently, and I said, well, I have enough to almost fill a bowl. Then I was watching some Lori Holt videos, and her latest was on, well, not her latest, I shouldn't say her latest, but one I watched was a needle book. And the needle book was adorable. It had a little section for a hook on the outside that you can hang a charm from. But when she was giving the instructions of putting it together, it was omitted that piece to sew in there. And I mean, I should have known better. It's my fault. But I forgot that piece. So this is the needle book that I put together following her directions. And I'm going to open it and the thread's going to fall out. She allowed a space for a thread that you can keep in here. This was the first page that I just put some pins in. It has a little pocket here. Then the next was regular cross stitch, and I don't know if that was maybe 24, 26 petites. Maybe 26 petites. I don't even know what I have. I just put some pins in here. I know people know what needles to use for what count fabrics and stuff. I usually use what I've been using, because I just take it out of the piece and I hold it to the side on a needle minder, and then I grab that and start stitching. And if it doesn't work, then I pick up one of the other ones that I have nearby. Unfortunately, I do by doing. If it works, I keep going. If it doesn't, then I'll switch it. So you stitch a couple of lines down the center so that when the book closes, it has like a spine, and that's where the thread would sit in, and then you tie it shut. So what I'm missing is like a little loop here that I could have hung, a little loop here that could have hung a charm. And I thought the fabric was really cute, so definitely going to use it without the charm. But I've liked Needleworks books since I've started even quilting. And this is one that I went to a quilt show, and they were selling the fabric. And basically they sold this outside fabric, the heart and the circles, and then I think one piece for the center. So I decided to just get a couple of fleeces. Let's see, what did I do? 3. So that I have 6 pages in here. And so I have all different kinds of pins, and beading pins are in the back, and I was using this. And then I don't know if I saw it on a video or we were speaking about it. I didn't put a closure on this, but I tried a different technique where it has little pockets in here, 2 pockets, and I had put some needles in here, and then 2 pockets on this side. I guess I could always stitch a ribbon in the back like I did right down the center here and attach it here, and then so I have 3 needle books that these 2 I've had a while, and this one was my new one from Lori Holt. And then the other thing I tried from Lori Holt was her design boards. She had a video on how she did them, and these are what they look like. And it's batting and some binding that is glued. And the only thing that I did different was I had scrapbook paper on the back. very straight here. But these are for me. But they're fine. So I made 3. And again, I used scrap paper on the back. And what I did was I bought this foam core board at the dollar store. And I was able to cut out 6 10 by 10s. It was 30 by 20, I believe. So I was able to get 6 out of these. And what you do is when you cut your block, you put it on here and you bring it to your sewing machine, and it doesn't move out of place, and it's easier to sew and make sure that, I mean, I've done it many a times because I don't have room to have my sewing machine and my board nearby and stitch. I just walk from another room and accidentally turn something upside down, and I've stitched it the wrong way. And this is the 3rd one that I made, and I just again use scrap paper because on the piece of foam core I had a little like indentation in it, and I was like, well, I guess it could be okay. And then I said, oh, you know what, I'll just cover it, because now I don't even know which board the indentation was on. So this is really bugging me that it's not straight. Anyway, sorry, on a tangent. And those were all my finishes since we've been apart. Oh no, I had one more. I have my tablet here to show it to you. It's a piece that I finished last year, but I finally laced it and gave it to my son because he has Red Riding Hood. So I gave him now Snow White from the Permitted Pair. So that's the lace piece that I took a picture of. And it was their 3rd wedding anniversary, and Rebecca had liked this from our Flosstube retreat last year when we went to the store. She was expecting, and I showed her one pattern, and she says, oh, but I like that one. So I bought it, and I stitched it up for them and framed it, and that was part of their anniversary gift. That's all my finishes. I will save my haul for the end in case you want to check out. Now I'm just going to do all the WIPs that I've stitched since the last time we've worked together. Now I had a few new starts from the end of June, because I was doing new start, WIP, new start, WIP, new. So the new start that I had was a spring delivery from Scattered Seed Samplers. And I just had a start on that one, and that's how far I gotten. When I stitch, I keep track of what I accomplish in the 2 days of rotation. I have a book, and I date it. I have the title of the pattern and designer, and then I have the dates, whether it was May, whatever, and then the next time I pick it up, it could be July something. So I have the dates, and I keep track of what I stitched. And some days, some 2-day rotations, I get a lot accomplished. That surprises me. And then the next time I pick it up, I think I'm going to get the same amount done. I don't. I barely get half of what I had anticipated. Again, these are in no particular order. Nora Corbett, and I was able to stitch on her. And this is on, I believe, Blue Ice Lugana. And I got a lot of her dress done this time on the bottom. So I was happy with my progress. But I'm going to have to make, I had enlarged the pattern because not this rotation, but the rotation prior, I stitched, I forget, I think I told you like 4 hours on it, and then I had to frog the whole thing because I miscounted. So, because I marked the pattern, I want to make now another copy so I can keep going because I frogged this section, and so I decided to work from here now and go over. So now this is all marked up, so I don't know where I left off and where, so I have to make a photocopy and figure it out so that I can mark it again. The next piece was, a Little House Needleworks, and I was working on Patrick Henry's house, and this is one of the ones I didn't get far, and the thing is, I want this thing finished. I feel like I've been working on it forever. This is the house down here, so I have this whole section yet to go, and then I have one more house, and then I will be done with this piece. I love the way it looks. It's just that I'm doing a 2/1 on 18 count Ada, and this is Country Mocha, but I find that this is one of the fabrics that's a little bit stiff, and I feel like I have to poke the really poke the needle in, so I think that's slowing me down as well. Okay, the next one I started this one. This is Lantern Lane by Little House Needleworks, and let's see. Yep, I started it in June, and then I picked it up in July as well. So in June, I did this border and the roof minus the windows. And then in the second rotation, I completed the windows and started on the next row. So that's how far I got in 4 days. Okay, this was a whip. This is, seems like I'm picking out all Little House Needlework. Brave Hearts, and you can see it better on here. And I did it on a blue Lugana, 28 count. Got all the words done. So I have, let's see, oh, there's a word in here. It says white. There you go. You can see it better in person. Because when it was back here, I'm like, what did I miss? So I have the hill, the sheep, and a flower at the bottom. So hopefully in the next rotation, I should be able to complete, oh, and some, no, the stars are there. I was going to say, the stars at the top, but they're there. So this is a fun stitch, and this was from my friend Tina from For the Love of Stitches. This is, I haven't picked this up in a while, Jenny Bean and Friend from Shakespeare's Peddler. I had seen this at Needleworkers, as a matter of fact, two retreats ago. At the first retreat that we went, I saw he had a trunk show at Teresa's, and it was on the wall, and I thought the colors were just beautiful. So this is on a 28 count Lugana in cream. Oh, Cameo. He said they dyed it for me, and what I did this time was from here over. So this is close to a finish. It has a satin stitch grass section on the bottom. I will not be doing that with Fancy Floss. I will be doing that with DMC. And probably maybe two colors of DMC to get some variation in it. Then I picked up a whip, Stacy Nash, Christmas at Hollyberry Farm. And let's see. Now for sure I completed the house with the bottom fence. Let's see, I'm out of camera. I try to look so that I could see what I'm showing you. So I did some of the bottom border. Okay, folding it, sorry. I finished these bottom border, the brown in the house, the steps, the fence. I started the urn. I didn't complete all the berries on the urn. And then I went over and did the two dogs. So I still have a ways to go on this. This is part of my Stitch 10 challenge that I might not make. but it'll be fun trying. So what do we have? July is the 7th month, so 5 months to go. 10 days. Close. And this I haven't picked up, I think, since May when it was Stitch Mania. And this is Satsuma Street Halloween House. Halloween Cat. And this is on a 14 count Aida Picture This Plus flapper. And I completed the 2 trees, the cat, this little cat face, and the start of the pumpkin. Okay. That was a fun stitch. I enjoyed that. I don't think I'll get it finished by Halloween, but I also picked up a Lila Studio Holiday Quaker. And let's see, what did I finish here? Merry Christmas. She has in the chart, you can either stitch Happy Holidays or Merry Christmas. And I chose Merry Christmas. And that's all I've completed on this time. So I have Santa and his sleigh going through here. I hope it fits. I hope I counted correctly. I'll let you know. I also have Lila Studio Halloween Quaker, and I haven't picked that up in a long time. And I don't think I got much done on that. Templar Prophecy. That's the pattern. And I was on page 5, which is this side here. I did not finish the page. Actually, I have to chart. If you look in here, in this corner right here, it has initials, J-E-L. And I gave my son the option, because I'm stitching this for him, what initials he wanted in there. And he said he wanted something that represented where they live now. So it's going to be his house number and the letter of his street. So that's this side here. So, so I have to chart that out. So it's going to be in here, and then I have to do this whole section to finish the page. And this is what it looks like in its entirety. I'm loving this. And I love stitching on it. I love the fabric. It's a 28 count Lugana in white. Just white. Love it. I stand up because I'm short that I have a hard time showing you, but I have here the next one, but I'll say, is Joan Elliott's Snowman Stocking. And I'm outlining as I go so that I don't have a lot saved for the end. I didn't put the name in yet, but what I finished was this whole side. The star, his mitten, then I came down and finished this little part of the scarf and the gift box. So I outlined up here, but I stopped because I had to make sure that I had stitches on both sides before I outlined. So I'm going to continue stitching down here and see where I get before I go back and outline some more. But definitely what they say, the outlining makes the piece come alive. I'm not looking forward to finishing this because then I have to figure out how to fully finish. And that's I mean, I've made Christmas stockings before, but I made them out of fabric, so if I made a mistake, you know, you get another piece of fabric and you do it again. But cross stitch, scary. Yeah, I know people do it. I know that they do it. Okay, this is I haven't picked this up since I started it for Stitch Mania, and that's the Drawn Thread Sunnyside Sampler. And this is charted for silks. And somebody said go on their website. They show a conversion to DMC, so which I wanted to do. So I went to the conversion and I got most of it, but then some of it tells you to do it in like Classic Colorworks or something else. And some of the colors, like if you go on charts to see the conversion, they don't have them. I don't know if they're newer colors. And then when as I'm stitching, I forget, there was a topiary that they called for a green that looked almost like the plant was dead. So because I guess it's not what they originally charted. So I decided to just come upstairs, open the drawer and pull out another green. And that's what I did. So if I'm not happy with a color now, that's what I'm doing. I'm just picking another color. So what I stitched was from this topiary and this green. And I didn't finish the flowers, which looks like it's in a little vase. Yeah, looks like it's in a little vase down here. Maybe like this one. And then it follows a tree next. And this is on 28 count Lugana, and I think it's light taupe. Not as dark as mushroom. Oh, wait, I am wrong. 28 count mushroom. I save it. I'm glad I save it because I know a lot of people ask what fabrics they're stitching on. See, I don't usually have the fabrics that are called for. There's all different kinds of just dyers, and people buy from all over, and charts call from all over. I buy basically from 123 Stitch and Needleworkers Delight. And I go there and I see what I like and I buy it, and sometimes I ask them to dye something for me, and they're more than happy to do that, and I'm willing to wait for it. The next one I picked up to work on was Lizzie Kate, and I made a lot of mistakes on this one already in the first 2 days that I stitched on it. And I took notes, and when I went to read it back when I picked this up again, I couldn't figure out all my mistakes. But I finished 3 rows. And I think that it all started with when I went to stitch this line between here, it was 2 stitches over. And I don't know how I did that. I honestly don't know. So when I went to put the word things, it was wasn't over to the margin enough. But it fit. And then because I worked down this way, everything was thrown off. So I believe that this line is back in track, and I should be able to finish the flower here, and then the last word for up there, and then I can work on the center section and then the bottom, and I should be able to fit it all in. I did not work on any of the border. So that's how far I've gotten on this. And I love the colors. It's just that when you make mistakes, I don't know, do you feel like you make a mistake and it throws you off? It threw me off my game a little bit because of that. I forgot to say that some of these are Christmas patterns because it was Jolly July, and I tried not to start any new Christmas stuff, but if I had a Christmas pattern in my stash that I was working on, I continued to work on it, and that's why Christmas Quaker was in there, and Lantern Lane, and I can't think of everybody right now. This is another one that I considered for Jolly July. It was Wintertime by the New York designer, and I technically finished page 1 of the pillow. So I did Winter Cardinals, Windy Cozy, and then all the snow that goes there. And then the next time I started the T in page 2, and I don't think I finish it in 2 days, but 4 I should. So I'll be happy to finish. I'll go back and watch Leanne's video on that, when she taught Barbara how to finish that pillow, and I will copy it. The next I worked on His Eye is on the Sparrow by Heartstring Samplery. I was having a little bit of trouble making out the pattern, reading the pattern, because I'm not supposed to show a pattern, and it just, like, the symbol that it looked like a diamond. And when I went to the actual list that is on the back of the pattern, like they have them here, there is no triangle. What it was, which I figured out eventually, is a triangle with a circle in the center. But you can't read that in the pattern, so I was like confused at times. But so anybody that hasn't started this, and just, be aware that you have to do the best you can at reading the symbols sometimes. Okay, this is my big one. I think I was thinking about, the frame for this, and I'm like, I know people have framed it, and Beth Twist did do it on 28 count, and she had it framed, but I think I might make this into a quilt wall hanging, thinking about it. So what I stitched this time is the bird, the urn with the flower, started the house, and I brought the words over from the sparrow. That's what I got done this time. I am so anxious to do the border to see if it meets up. I haven't done it at any border this time, but see, the reason I do it partially is because as I'm stitching the pattern, I count off the border. So I'll do some border, and then if it lines up, it should be in the correct place. So that's like a way that I check that everything is going correctly, because I'm afraid that I'll get to the whole thing and I made a mistake at the beginning. But in a smaller sampler, I would try doing the border, because I'm always excited about trying that. Crazy? Maybe. Okay, next was Jolly July, Brenda Gervais, Merry Christmas. And the last time you saw it, I did the Santa up to the O in his coat and stopped. So this time I completed his coat, his the white at the bottom of his coat, his shoes, and the reindeer. Oops, this side. And that's where I've gotten on that. And then my last one that I just took off the Q-snap this morning was Red Riding Hood that I had started for Stitch Mania. And this is how far I've gotten on red. I did the tree, this whole side basically, and these two trees. I have to put the flowers in the section here, and then I completed that. I guess the flowers that look like this has to go, oops, this side. So that's where I've gotten up to today. And okay. So that's everything that I've worked on. My plans, my short-term plans are for August. I'm going to start 2 new things, being that it's the New Jersey retreat weekend. I was going to start a chatelaine, but and the reason I was going to start the chatelaine is because the AZ needleworker from Arizona, Deborah, was going to be there, and I was going to pick her brain of tips and tricks. But since that's not happening, I'm holding that till next year. But I am going to have 2 new starts, because I am. And we're going to start a blackbird design. The whole group is planning to start a blackbird design, any one of your choosing. And then I have one more that I'm going to start on. So let's see, today's Friday, so that's 2 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I'm going to start another one. That's going to be a surprise, and I will share that in my next video. So, and then the rest of the month is to work on my WIPS. Now, my long-term plan for till the end of this year is hopefully not to start anything new, but that's neither here nor there. I don't think I can really make it through the year without doing that, but that's the plan. And then I have 12 patterns kitted up with floss and fabrics. That's in a bag right behind me on the floor, and the plan is to start them in January. I will share them with you at another video closer down the line, in case I change my mind and want to add one or take one away. Or I have to, what I do is I log in all the threads that I have in there, so I have to do that yet. So as I'm doing that, I'll just validate that that's what I'm going to be working on, and then I will share them with you. And also my long-term plan is to get as many of my WIPs that I have started completed. The Stitch 10, I have 7 completed. I have Early Americans, Geranium, Nora Corbett, and Christmas at Hollyberry Farms. Those are the 3 left to complete, and they're all fairly what I consider large. But then out of the other ones, I want to see if I can complete 10 more. And that will free up some space to put in these new projects and then continue to work on my WIPs. So I need to do this. It's basically what I need to do. If I get it accomplished, great. If I don't, I'll probably still start them, because you want to start something new. Okay, so that's it. I'm going to show my acquisitions that I purchased in the last, I guess, from March on, that we haven't been able to go out. I'm also planning of stocking up on some patterns and some, I did stock up on fabric. I will share that with you. And just in case we have another outbreak of the virus and we're not allowed to leave our homes again, and it'll give me time now to accumulate what I need, because a lot of the threads have not been available. I'm going to go out there and look on 123 Stitch and see what I can come up with of my list. Okay, enough talking. My acquisitions, for those of you who stick with me. I purchased a new grind guard, an 11 by 17. This will come in handy because the bigger projects I roll up and I stuff it under here, and eventually they kind of, the elastic wears out. So then a pattern that I ordered a while ago finally came in. I don't know why they had a hard time getting this, but Strawberry Fields, a blackbird design. And probably after I do the Long and Winding Road, I'm going to start this one. I also would like to do Eleanor Rigby and Blackbird, but I don't have those. But this will be my next one. Oh, I'm going to kit this up for January. I purchased Seeking Refuge. And a friend of mine, Dee, who probably writes on your YouTube videos as well, Dee Abrams, she she did this, and it's gorgeous. She did a fabulous job, and she's going to put another line at the bottom that says something like, I don't know exactly, but to the fact of the 2020, the year time stood still, or something to that effect. And I think that's awesome that she's going to do that. So yeah, I love that. I purchased the needle punch and punch needle and primitive stitcher magazine, the latest one. Now they said that Barnes and Noble was not going to stock magazines anymore. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what I heard. I picked up some Lady Dot bric-a-brac in like a tannish color. Picked up some new Bowen needles in, let's see, what did I pick up? 24 count. For some reason I had the other ones. I wanted 24. Picked up very little floss because they had very little to choose from. Their stock was running low. Some DMCs. And then I bought fabric. And I will go through these quickly. Little Boy Blue in 16 count Ada by Swigart. Jubilee is in Ice Blue 28 count Jubilee. 28 count Lugana in Heritage. There's a Facebook group called Silk Weavers, and they do a flash sale, and they show fabrics that they already have dyed, and the first person who says "me please" gets the fabric. And they put it out, I don't know if it's once or twice a week. And what I did was I went through the colors, because they do have 32, 36, 38, I don't know if it's 38, 36, 40. And sometimes I'll see a fabric color that is in a higher count fabric, and I will ask them to dye it in a 28 count, which I normally, or an Ada if I want it. And they will do that. It'll take them time because it's not ready like the stuff for the flash sale, but in my case I'm local, so when it's done I can go in and pick it up. So they'd have to mail it to you if you're at a distance. The next one I picked up was the Summer Sunshine, 28 count Lugana, yellowy. This is also a 28 count Lugana in Ivory. Light Ash Gray, 28 count Lugana. These are all fat quarters. Golden Tan. This was one of the ones I asked them to dye for me, because I had seen it on a large account. So this 28 count Lugana. I sent them an email and I gave them a list of what I wanted in fabrics. Then, I don't know if it was a week or two later, I sent them a second list of other ones that I wanted. And I put Country Mocha in both of them. So when I went in, they said, "I have your fabrics ready." I said, "Oh, okay, great." So he said, "But you put this down twice. Did you just want it once?" I said, "No, I'll take all four." So I did. I have 3 of these here. This is 28 count Lugana and Country Mocha, and one is in a project that I kitted up already. Then this is a half. Now, I don't know what I bought it for, but a half in Mushroom Lugana. If I need a large piece, I have it. It's showing up gray, but it's mushroom. Then I found this the last time I went. It's a 28 count Antique Blue Lugana. This is a Jubilee in Ivory. I like Jubilee. It's a little bit stiffer than Lugana. It's 28 count. And this is also Jubilee in Light Taupe. 28 count. Just showing you a little bit of the different. So I have enough fabric here that will last me through the beginning of the year. And that's it. I'm hoping to come back the middle of August and give you an update. of what I've been doing. I hope you enjoy this. I hope you stick with me and come back and give me a thumbs up and subscribe. It's my pleasure to share with you, and anything that I can answer your question, please feel free to leave it and I will answer it in the next video if I don't do it personally. And that's it. Until next time, stay safe, happy stitching, be kind.